I told you I'm doing the French. No, I'm kidding. I'm not doing the French. I can't do a French accent. It's impossible. I don't know. Can't do it. I've tried. I've legitimately tried. Can't do a French accent. But it's not acting class here. It's fucking episode 89. Boundless Shores. Back at it again.
Nice, plus 20.
You know us by now. The names will be here. Boom. Now they're there. See, look at that. A little bit of a magic trick for you.
Liam, don't forget to put that in.
And then he purposely offsets the time until now.
Yes.
Boom.
It's just a puff of like white smoke and nothing.
Just in really small letters at the bottom. Sorry.
Ran out of the budget.
Editor was tired. James, I want you to do the recap this time.
Ooh, recap. So, when last we left off, we did some stuff. So yeah. Well, so let's see. The hardest part for me with the recap is just remembering exactly where we started last session and what was the session before that. Where did we start off?
You started off at
the crossroads, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and you started off in the morning.
Yeah. We started off after the events of the night prior with Azrael revealing his true self and Beckett now becoming a or I guess taking Arcanos as her deity. So we woke up the morning after that. Calduin got up early to do some playing around in the sand. Actually training, but playing around in the sand. Tobin followed suit soon after. They sparred for a while. That was pretty neat. Let's see. What did the other people get out of? I don't care about those people. Yonatan was. Oh, I'll start with Orgolan left to go visit his people at Fort Obelisk to see how they were doing. Beckett woke up and looked for Yonatan, who was off doing God knows what. He flew off. He decided to fly off to go practice his fire so that he might so that even though he's gained control of it, he'll make sure that he's not going to cause any problems around the group. And wide open desert's a good place to do that. And we had breakfast before setting off to Callum Dune. We went to Callum Dune, and the presence of Pax Vindicta was much larger. Posters and such, and many sanguicides. Sanguicides alongside dwarven guards. And as we got closer, we were able to make our way into the inside of Callum Doom because Tobin was familiar with the captain, who was once just a lowly guard that him and his father would pass by on their way in. After that, they once inside, they noticed that these dwarves seemed malnourished, and some of them even had markings resembling that of what they would get if they were being chained up. But they swiftly make their way to Alvor's office, but had to stop because of an argument taking place, and they didn't know what was going on here, so they decided not to listen in. But as it turned out, Alvor was fired, his beard looking much more unkempt, and his belly looking a lot less filled. We decided to take him with us after seeing that the man who fired him was the one dwarf who still looks nice and plump and is definitely the lapdog for Chandra and related parties. We also discovered they seem to be making some sort of very big golem, or something of the like, which is very scary. And we left with haste after packing up Alvor's office and returned to Scorchtown and the Riemann family forge. There we met Percy. Percy was making very shitty nails, and although that could be beneficial for our cause since they were going to Kalimdun, Alvor was not having any of that. Gave him a stern talking to. So we helped him fix his strides and then let him get drunk to decompress. And we decided to come up with a plan to free the dwarves in Kalimdun because those are his brethren and those are Alvor's brethren, and we're asking him to help us. And, this is Tobin's home as well. He's spent his whole life around those dwarves. He doesn't like to see them in this state either. And we discovered that there were possibly Asherati tunnels underneath the sands that may or may not lead to the forge that we might be able to use to help extract the dwarves and then cripple the forge so that they can no longer continue to use it. With that, as Tobin was working away near the forge, trying to fix up everybody's weapons, while he was working on Calduin's, he felt this weird sensation drawing him towards the bottom of the forge. With some help from Alistair, they opened a hole under the forge, discovering an ancient tomb for one of Tobin's ancestors with some Asherati handiwork on and around the door to the tomb, and we ended off with Tobin and Calduin about to enter the tomb. I think that's about it.
Like butter. That's great. Before we get and catch up to present day, we're gonna reel back time a little bit. We're gonna start off with Orgolan. You left early in the morning from Anatuan's Crossing and headed south. You continued walking past the Ragnar Rocks into the Ashen Sea.
It's just
The
sand,
heat,
man.
bad, not great, but you feel a wind that washes up from the south that carries a cool, crisp air. Sorry, I'm fucking trying to think, and my brain's not thinking.
Dude, it's just a bunch of sand. It's all there
It's
is
just
there.
a bunch of sand, man. There's nothing really. Could you just roll me a general survival check just to see how you fare in your crossing of the desert?
I probably have an inspiration point I can burn.
What was it?
What do you mean, probably? Those things expire, brother.
Isn't that one? You've got sand everywhere, bro. In the crotch, in the butt. You are
Yeah.
sanded up. And you don't even get to
Somehow
go
get a
through them.
sunburn.
That turned into a 17.
On a natural one, because I don't think you have a fucking inspiration point that you could just burn like that. No way are we taking free
I haven't
rerolls
been
these.
here for how
It's
long?
the dice. It's a dice game. The dice are telling the story. You had a
I
shitty
haven't
luck.
been here for how long?
But hey, listen. Owen, it kind of makes sense. You're from the snow. You're not going to do super well in the desert.
Dead dog.
You had, with the utmost confidence that, I've been here before. I know what I'm doing. And immediately you got about 20 feet in, and you are already panting like a dog. You're exhausted. The heat is getting to you. You've already taken a couple of things out of your pack just to lighten the load. You've kind of buried them behind a rock. That, like, just so then you can lighten your load because your back is sweating. You know, your brow is drenched. All your clothes are dirty. And that's just how your journey started. Oh, and let's see. You're traveling for about an hour, and the sun is getting to your glasses aren't doing enough for you. You've wrapped like a blanket over your head just to give yourself some shade. Um, and while you're doing that, you're not really paying attention to where you're walking. You feel your foot beginning to sink into the sand like water. I need you to roll me a reflex, please. I think it's a reflex. Hold on.
DC 15 survival check necessary to notice it.
Um,
It doesn't really
you're
say.
19. That's what you got, right? 19?
Yeah.
Perfect. You feel your entire leg begin to slip in and just start the sand, almost like tiny hands grabbing you and pulling you in. As the first thing you remember to do is relax, and how do you monk shit your way out of your leg being stuck in this sand pit?
I'm just gonna do a jumping front flip to see if I can jump out of this. And that is a dirty 20.
Fuck it, you feel your legs start to shift in. You balance yourself, you get real low, and with one mighty spring, you back spin with a twirl on it, and you land and restabilize yourself, and where you take a deep breath. Give me a survival check just so you can now um, get a sense of where the sand is so you can go around it.
Oh my god.
I do hope someone's keeping track of the ones.
Owen keeps track of the ones in the 20s.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping track for all since
Oh,
I've
that's
been
true.
here. So
Did you get another one, brother?
I used a different fucking dice.
So you get yourself out of a sticky situation, and you begin to try and differentiate the sand, but you're hot and sweaty. You feel like you're gonna black out at any second. At least the sun is going down, and so the heat is getting less intense. Wait, the sun is already going down? You realize that you've now spent the better part of your day wandering this desert. Now you have no idea where this slip sand is. So your plan, you're gonna head west and then south. Adds another couple hours on your journey, and you don't even make it to the beginning of the tundra before night falls. And it gets cold fast. Um, Do you have the capabilities to make a fire?
No, not
Probably?
survival check.
Okay, third
Well,
dice.
like it. Well, hold on. It. Don't make another roll. Like in your pack, are you carrying something to make fire with?
Are you asking if he has fuel, or that can he rub two sticks together to light them?
Flint and steel, you know.
I have a sending stone and a flask. I'm just gonna start.
Oh, this is gonna be one interesting survival check. Give me one more survival check as you ting your sending stone.
Who gave bro the sending stone?
Who gave bro the sending stone?
It's mine.
Is that all the way back from New Daria when there was the imp?
Probably.
Look at that.
Wow.
All
I
right,
just
that's a 27.
27.
Oh.
By the sheer grace of God, somehow you make a fire. I think Ragnar just genuinely felt bad for you after today. And he was like, I'm gonna give this guy a fucking break. You make your fire, you find some random shrubbery or whatever, like dead bushes. You know, in Minecraft you can find sticks. I don't know. Night passes. The morning sun begins to peak. You making the smart choice, getting up real early before the sun comes out, so then you can make some actual fucking distance. So by noon, you notice some odd-looking hill-like terrain before you. You notice as you're heading southward, the skies begin to gray and snow kind of drifts here and there, but most getting burnt up by the heat of the sun, or the heat of the sun. But as you're heading closer to where Shadowguard meets the Boundless Shores, you notice they're almost wind-swept, like crazy frozen waves of sand that have turned into these jagged walls. Along the outside, so on the desert side, you see a few signs written in a few different languages, pointing east.
All right. I start to head east.
Yeah, you don't actually have to walk for very long as you see a couple of makeshift huts built on the desert side, and you see some of the windswept hills have been pushed aside to create a gateway. You see a Valdenoid family exiting one of the huts with a full backpack of supplies, like they're heading back, heading on a journey. They notice you as the young mother and two sons on her by her hip. So she kind of waves her hand hello to you as you approach the general area.
I I just nod and give a little wave as I walk closer.
How did your journey go? Did you make it here safe and sound? You look like you need a drink. She grabs a drinking horn of presumably water off of her side and hands you some water.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot different than I remembered it being.
I'm impressed that you came all this way without a guide. Um, have you been at the halfway house before?
I don't believe so.
Oh, perfect. Just head into this building. There's a ladder that will take you down into the general area.
All right. Thank you.
She nods and smiles and says something in Ashrati to her children as they giggle and begin to run forward out into the desert. Um, you head into the hut. The hut is basically empty. It's just a shelter structure, and then there's just a hole with a ladder that goes down about, I don't know, 20 feet or so into the earth. So you climb your way down into a actually largely carved out area. You see like a couple of market stalls have been set up here. There's a spot where people can rest after their journeys. And you see a mix of both Valdunoids and Drag here, as they've kind of created a symbiotic relationship of trade back and forth. You see them trading in these like bars of dark steel, like the Drowers trading in bars of dark steel, getting food and other general amenities that they're now cut off from because of the convergence. What would I call it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I've been watching Critical Role Divergence, and so now I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's the other way.
All right. I start walking in and just looking around to see what's here, what people have, and
Um, Yeah, it's not super abundant here. It's really just what people need to survive. There's a couple of sacks of grain, meat, and some vegetable that has been acquired through trade through the main cities of the Veilbridge. Um, you feel someone staring at you, like in the back of your head. So you turn and see an older drow captain, retired now, but you knew him when he was working more when you were younger. As he approaches, I thought I recognized you, Your Majesty. He gives you a deep bow.
good to see you again. How long has it been?
I'd say 10 or so years.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Wow. I heard about your victory and your now kingship. Congratulations.
I thank you. It was a hard decision to make. Definitely.
Of course. I'm sure your brother's looking down on you fondly. Strong boy, him.
I hope he is. Miss him every day.
Are you heading back to Fort Obelisk?
Yes.
Might I
Just
accompany you?
stopped in. Sure. I could use someone to talk to about the adventures.
Well, so I hear that you are adventuring with a party of shores folk, right?
Yes.
Very interesting. Much more culture than back home on Shadowguard. Yes.
A lot of differences that seem to somehow coexist in beautiful chaos.
That is well put.
That's the best I can just.
No, that was great. That was beautiful, dude.
That's
No, you did
exactly what.
great. Um, you and Greg. No, I'm kidding. Not Greg. Greg. I can't think of a name. His name's Greg now. Sorry.
Okay.
You and Greg. I can't believe this. Fucking, I can't think of a fucking better name right
Only
now.
important drow get cool names.
Exactly.
Marshall Vidron.
Is Marshall better than Greg?
I think Greg's better than Marshall, to be honest.
All
Anyway,
hail
so
Greg.
you and Grigorovich.
Okay.
There at the back of the halfway house is a kind of like angular ramp that heads back up towards the surface, and now you feel like the cold wind beginning to wisp in as it immediately brings you back home. As you make your way up the ramp, the climate here is so starkly different. It's baffling. It's mind-boggling the fact that like 2 minutes ago you were in the blistering heat, and now it's a frozen tundra wasteland. It barely even looks like a desert at this point because of the amount of snow that's collected on top. And the black rocks really just create like a monochromatic collage of snow. In the distance, you can see towering, shadowed through the storms, stands your home, Fort Obelisk. Which is where I'm going to call a quick break for a momento. I need to take this switch. You made your way up the grand staircase and was welcomed with open arms through the double doors as all the soldiers and the guards salute as you enter with the royal welcome. Of course, you are royalty. You enter back into the main throne room chamber, the chandelier made of shards of the singing caverns rings above, giving the echoey chamber like a melodic kind of chiming. You see the throne sits empty. You think back to when your father sat there with his stare, but now you just look upon an empty chair that is yours. As you know, when you're off adventuring with Yada Naul, sometimes you forget that you have something to come back home to. Sitting on the steps just below the chair, just below the throne, You see your mother as she sees you enter. She immediately stands and rushes over and pulls you into a warm embrace. My dear son,
It is good to see you again.
I'm so glad you're safe.
It is good to be back. Oh,
Well, as you may have seen, things here are going as good as they can. The Balduna has
I
been
can see that.
very, very helpful in our integration into the shores.
Yes, that is very helpful of that. Man. Well, I've got some good news. Savelle's alive. And she's been helping on my journey. So I've
Did you
tried
bring her?
to convince her to come back, but need to talk to her again when the time comes, but
Oh, how has she been?
she's been all right. Um, yeah, she's been all right.
Just all right. Why hasn't she wanted to come home yet? Why hasn't she visited? I feel like there's something you're not telling me.
I well, with what's been going on in the world, she'll hopefully come after we've basically saved the planet, and which hopefully we do soon, because I want our family to be whole again as much as we can make it whole with the pieces gone, but
I've ordered the chef to make us a glorious feast. I'm sure you have many stories to discuss, but you go get some rest, and I'll see you tonight for dinner. I have some affairs that need to be settled.
and I will see you later as I head up to my quarters.
We're gonna shift away from this area of Villebridge, and we're gonna shift to another area just about, a safe distance outside of Scorched Town, we find Jonathan playing with fire, literally. um, Jonathan, you left the Adenauul so then they could go to Kalamdoon. You decided this would be a good opportunity for you to work on your magic, as this is something now that you've unlocked. So you want to practice in a safe environment that's not going to hurt your friends or burn down the town or anything. So as we fade in on you, what do we find Jonathan getting up to as he practices his fire?
Yeah, you see Jonathan just druid crafting some targets along a stretch of desert. And as he begins to set up his targets, you can see that Jonathan, looking up at the sun, the hot, scorching sun, and he just laughs it off, completely unbothered by the heat around him. When he completes his targets, he just kind of steps back about 50 feet or so, activates his fire wings, still getting used to flying around. He sets up about 30 feet in the air as he casts, he'll cast Sunstroke on one target. Wall of Flames on a set of 3 targets. Stars of Arvander on a few more targets. Flies down and strikes the last target with his wings of fire, almost dive bombing as he strikes this wooden target. It catches ablaze and burns to ashes in front of him.
Hell yeah, the firewall roars and consumes the 3 dummies. Your Sunstroke sends off a ripple of heat through the air that immediately dries and sucks all the moisture out of the dummy as it almost crumples just by looking at it. You dive bomb and do a kick flip and set the last one ablaze as you panting, catching your breath, looking around, feeling the fire. You cast like a small flame in your palm and you just feel its warmth and shoot it out, like almost like skipping a rock as the flame kind of onto the sand below and fizzles out. For this week you kind of went full nature mode as you didn't return to town once, even though even after the Adenauul had got back from Kalamdoon, you've spent the last couple nights foraging and hunting for your own food, getting in touch with your nature side again, practicing your fire. So at the end of that week, you then set off back into town to Riemann Family Forge. You walked down the cobblestone streets as you see a mound of dirt beside the forge as you're like, what is going on here? As you see Tobin, Alistair, and Calduin all gathered out on the what am I trying to say? What's the word I'm looking for?
The hearthstone of the forge.
Street.
I have no idea.
Not street.
I don't know. The forge, the shop, the outside shop area.
Porch.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I don't know. I thought I had a word in there, and I guess I didn't.
Storefront.
The little blacksmith area.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah. Anyways, we're gonna move on because brain broke. Yeah, the three of you, Alistair, Calduin, and Tobin. After Alistair, you helped excavate the dirt out, giving you a narrow shaft down into the tomb. The three of you notice Yonatan walking down the street up towards you guys.
Oh, hey guys. How's it going?
Good. I see you survived.
Yeah, me, just the nature man.
Set anyone on fire?
I set dummies on fire.
That's not what I asked.
I didn't light any people on fire, no.
Good progress.
Yep. It's definitely progress.
We're about to drop a couple companions down into a dark shaft to God only knows where.
Oh, really?
Oh, we're just gonna desecrate my great grandfather's tomb, or great. I don't know.
Great grandfather.
Oh.
Okay. Desecrate is a poor choice of words. We're just gonna see what's up in there.
We're gonna
All
plan
right.
on it.
All right, you guys have fun. I'm gonna go inside and see what's going on.
Yep. All right, Calvin. We've been pushing this off long enough. What do you say we check out what's in there?
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Calduin tugs on his earlobe as he activates his lamp. With the help of Alistair, just give me a use rope check.
That is a 19.
You set up a little rigging system to help lower your companions down as who gets loaded up first? Who wants to go down there first?
Doesn't really matter. I'll go first.
Grab the pulleys
Hell
from the
yeah.
block and tackle, or create a little loop at the bottom of the rope so that way he's got a place to stick a foot through and he can hold on to the rest of the rope as he descends into the shaft.
And you are slowly lowered down into this very tight. It's almost like at some point parts it kind of like scrapes up against your arm as you're heading down this tight narrow shaft until it opens up below into some sort of antechamber. It's not a very big chamber. Like you have to really like crawl in and like shift yourself over, like very like Tomb Raider-esque, claustrophobic. As you have an ever burning torch that you throw off to the side to give you some light as Calduin next. He is lowered down. James Tobin sees kind of a sandstone door that's built into the earth with ancient writing. You can tell it's Asherati writing over the door frame. Calduin, you were lowered in, and you take notice of this as well. You see that the script reads, through the earth, all things made equal.
Through the earth, all things made equal. That's a quote.
Well, I guess this is it.
Seems like it.
Yeah, I'd like to try and open the door.
Go ahead and give me a strength check.
Okay.
Oh, you.
It's not. 12.
Well, you reef on the door as it just doesn't budge. After time and pressure, this door is fucking stuck.
You think you can lend me a hand, Calduin? This door is pretty. What's it made of? Is it just like a stone door?
I think it's like it would be probably like a sandstone.
Pretty worn. Nice and stuck.
Sure thing. As I hold on to Tobin and pull him as he's trying to pull on the door.
Give it one more good guess.
That 20.
With the two of us.
Sorry.
Calduin, go ahead and give me a strength check with the help action from Tobin this time.
Yeah, I just rolled a nat 20.
He's just gonna pick me up and.
Aid another provides a +2.
Did my thing not go through?
No.
What
Oh.
thing?
Nat 20.
Oh, nice.
Way. The two of you.
I was waiting for that reaction from Owen.
What the fuck is this?
Oh man, the
Two of
universe
you,
is against you today, Owen.
The dice gods are capricious.
Two of you pull on this door as you hear the sandstone beginning to crack as it opens with a gust of warm, musky, old crypt cellar air. You know the smell I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've been lots of crypts.
Yeah. You know, very crypt-like. As crypt walk your way into the... I'm kidding. The door pulls open into a larger open chamber. You see Tobin, you lit the ever-burning torch.
Yeah, he's glowing.
Oh, he's
Don't need-
glowing? Fuck it, you
Yep.
glowing. The two of you make your way into this room. It's not a huge room. I would say it's probably an 8 foot by 8 foot by 8 foot chamber down there. So it's like a room. You see in the center of the room lies 3 stone coffins, each one with a plaque, one in common, one in Ashrati, and one in Dwarvish, ancient Dwarvish, by the way.
Interesting.
On the back wall is a mural of a hold on, I have this. Was it in this one? Okay, I guess I don't. So, whatever. Use a painted mural of 3 men standing beside each other. Is one in a very regal archmage. The human man is in an archmage.
Robe. I'm a big fan of robes.
Robes, brain. Made of like
This is where I get my
ornate,
love
like
for robes.
purple and blue. He's got a necklace, like pendant around his neck of the sun cycle. Beside him, with his arm around, you see a Asherati chieftain, and next to the chieftain is a shorter dwarf man, glittered with gold. In the background, you see the city of Mira in the background, with lots of stained glass architecture in the background, so you could tell it's Mira, the northernmost Valebrigite city. And on the eastern-facing wall is a very narrow, skinny tunnel that leads deep and far and curves outwards, which is the fabled Asherati tunnels that Calduin was thinking was beneath the earth. And one ends right here in good old Georgie's shop.
Right. Yeah, what's the Asherati tomb say, Calduin? Do you recognize the name?
I take a look at the tomb.
The Asherati tomb says, "Herein lies the great Anatduin Vested, greatest chief of the Asheratis."
Correct me, that's my great grandfather, right?
Yes, something like that. Yeah, it would be technically, with the time difference, it'd probably be more like your grandfather.
Okay, right. All right. It's my grandfather. I'm not doing. He's the chief.
Interesting. I knew there was a time when the tribes were close, but it's interesting to think our families were so close. Um, What about the can Tobin make out the dwarvish one at all? He can read dwarf. Obviously, it's ancient dwarvish, but he can
Yeah,
read
well,
normal.
your father had you learn a little bit of ancient and modern dwarvish. So you're able to sound out this is the herein lies Lord Helm Kalem,
Mm.
Forge Father.
Wow. Yeah. I assume that's who the Great Forge is named after, but or at least something to do with the name. So, should we check out these tunnels?
If it will help the dwarves, we definitely should.
Sorry, what?
If it'll help the dwarves, we definitely should.
Oh, if it'll help free the dwarves. Yeah.
Who knows what we'll find down here?
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I guess we'll head towards the tunnel, see if we can tell, like, where the tunnel, which way the tunnel goes, I guess, or if it, if it's even intact.
Uh, you can give that the Ashrati guarantee. These tunnels were built by monoliths of crafting sand sculptures. You guys make your way into the tunnel. It's narrow. It's narrow and short, like a lot of the Ashratis are. It's built for them, so it's not very wide. But it's at some points, Tobin, I feel like you might have to like shift your shoulders to fully maneuver through. It's a little bit tighter for you, but for Calduin, it's a breeze to maneuver these. You guys travel probably for about 20 minutes down the path. It's really it is clear as far as you can tell. This particular tunnel kind of starts off going in a northeast direction and then heads eastbound um, for ways away. Do you guys continue as you guys now kind of made it to where it shifts from northeast to eastbound? Do you guys continue from there?
I think we just keep following it until we get to either like an opening or where it ends.
Yeah. Yeah, we can keep going.
You guys continue to follow it until something happens. Fair enough. You guys travel for probably another half an hour before this skinny tunnel widens out to a another chamber like the crypt, but this one is smaller. It's like 6 feet by 6 feet. It's like, and this leads to this small chamber has three more of these tunnels, all heading out in different directions. In Ashrati, written above, you see um, mountains, sea, desert.
You got a junction. Got the mountain, sea, and desert.
What's it
And
say?
you guys, I feel like you guys can make the safe assumption that the mountains one is the way that will lead to
Yeah.
Kalimdun.
Yeah.
So, mountain path. I tried to relay it, but it didn't come out. We'll just assume that I said it. I don't know what's going on with my Discord today.
Well, I guess that means there's potential for your plan of letting the forge to work, although we'd have to find a way to safely seal up the other tunnels if we don't want to ruin these routes.
I could probably get something in the works.
Yeah, I'm sure that or Alistair could figure something out. I guess for now we should head back.
Yeah, report our findings.
You guys head back the way you came, and climb your way back up to the forge as you see Alistair. I don't know, would Alistair have stuck around? They've been gone for probably about a better part of an hour at this point. They've been down there.
He probably would have been spending his time just going ahead and writing out math formulae inside of the sand, waiting for a couple of tugs on the rope to let him know.
You go and you help them up as they catch you up to speed on what they found down there. We're going to go on a quick break, and we'll be back soon. All right. So, returning to the surface, and what was I trying to say? Man, my stupid brain is not with me today. I apologize, you guys. After after returning to the surface, Tobin decided to call a group meeting to discuss what they had found and plans for the liberation of Kalimdun. You all have Ade Naul plus Alvor, minus Orgolan, who's still out at this point. All gather in the living room as we will fade in on just after Tobin and Calduin filled you guys in on the underground tunnel that leads to Kalimdun. See, Alvor is sitting in a large chair, stroking his beard. Aye, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, we're quite
Aye.
fortunate that the tunnels happen to be right here.
Thank our ancestry for that one.
Aye, well, praise to the powers that be. I've had some time to think. Now, if you want maps and shit, then you'll have to give me another week to really rack my brain. But I'll tell you what I know now, so we can start to formulate a plan. And obviously, with time, I can get us a map for all of Kalimdun, so then we can get in and out very quick, fastest routes, that sort of stuff. The main problem at hand is the forge. Now, see, the forge is at the center of the thicker side of the mountain, and it goes way deep. It's powered by 3 large ruby fire crystals. Now, my thinking is if you do enough damage to those crystals, that will set off a chain reaction. And, but from there, it'll be a fucking countdown as we need to rush out before, the mountain crumbles on top of us. But if we can manage to take out the forge, that'll cripple the rest. We just need to get the boys out and get ourselves out afterwards and, live to tell the tale. deal with any fucking single scythe along the way.
Right. Okay.
The crystals themselves are magic?
Aye, fire crystals. Courtesy of our patron, Chandra.
And to extract them alone wouldn't be enough?
In theory, it would be possible, I think, if you were to maybe try and extract them, but I feel like the fastest way to both cripple the forge and cripple the Scythe would be to take down the forge altogether. Just destroy him.
That's fair. I wonder. They are magic items with an inherent energy property to them. Tobin, remember when I turned my Fire Sands wand into one of sonic energy?
Yeah. Very handy.
I wonder what would happen if I decided to turn these fire rubies into frost rubies.
Oh. That could be interesting.
Is that permanent?
It would last about 2 hours. Long enough
Hey,
to...
do some damage for sure, but wouldn't fully cripple the forge, would it?
No, but it would at least make sure that we could get down there without burning our asses entirely off.
It's not it gets pretty hot deep in the forge, but it's not unlivable. We've been pretty deep in there before the last time we were at Kalimdum before we joined up with you. We fought I believe it was an Afriti. I think that's what it was called. It, although it makes me wonder where exactly these crystals are, because we managed to get pretty deep into the forge.
You guys, I believe that mission, you guys were on the mines side of it. You guys haven't actually been to the actual like forge part of it. You just went to the mines, and
Oh,
then you went to and then the last time you were here, you went to the vaults, which is on the other side as well. You guys haven't actually made it to within the forge itself yet.
oh, okay. Scratch that. Um, I guess yeah, the forge would probably be hotter than that. Well, yeah, the thing about turning them into frost is, as much as it would be nice to not have to completely destroy the forge if we got to that, um, if we did that, they could probably just turn them back at some point, which would allow them to finish creating whatever they're creating. So as much as it sucks, it's probably our best course of action to destroy it completely if possible.
Sensible.
And the fact that we know that Chandra's still around, can't
Mm-hmm.
really bank on that.
Yeah, even if the craftsmen wouldn't be as fine as the dwarves, I'm sure they could find some sort of servants to continue even if we were able to free all the dwarves but not destroy the forge. So I guess that leaves the question, before we destroy the forge and surrounding areas, probably time to talk to you about what we originally came here for. We are looking for, or I guess not necessarily looking for, but want to know if there's a possibility with dwarven's craftsmanship of a golden dagger that would be strong enough to pierce stone.
I know of something.
And it's not just an alloy. We needed this to be pure gold.
I know it. It's called Jod's Maw. Legend says that it was a tooth of an ancient earthworm from long ago, made entirely of gold and ivory. That would be something that matches your description.
What do you know of its whereabouts?
About 15 years ago, I sold it to a guy named Lazarus O'Storm. He's some fucking representative of curator of some kind of magic artifacts museum in Daria, I think.
Yes, yes. And I believe that he's already established his affiliation.
Yeah, he's with them, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, I guess that shuts down that plan.
But I
But-
mean, if you had further inquiry, you're gonna be meeting him at the end of the month.
Yeah. Is that where the event's being hosted?
No, the event's being hosted in the Friar's private monastery somewhere within the Ragnar Rocks,
Oh, okay.
just south of Ragnar.
Is it, so he's just one of the guests?
He's one of the VIPs.
Right. Okay. Good. That's good. We just wanted to make sure that we weren't destroying our way to create such a blade if it didn't already exist by crippling the forge. We'll see what we can do about that at a later date.
And I'll start to draw up some plans. Any information I can draw out on my old tinker. Give me about a week, and I'll see what I can pull and draw up for you guys.
Well, I guess in the meantime,
Then at the end of the week, we'll plan.
we'll prepare ourselves as best we can. Well, with your new workshop, I guess. Do you think you could tinker with my sword a little bit, Alistair? See if there's any stuff you could do to make it more powerful?
I feel confident that I could apply a few properties to it. I'm going to need some materials depending on what we go with, but I mean, as long as you're comfortable with the expense, sure.
Yeah, the expense shouldn't be a problem.
All right then.
Cool. I'll leave my sword with Alistair to do what he's got to do with it. Is there anything else any of you guys need to discuss while we have everyone together?
Don't believe so.
Perfect. So the Edeno will once again turn in to their own individual affairs. Let's give a quick pause here, and then we're gonna come back, and we're just gonna kind of quickly run through what happens during downtime in this time. I know there's a couple of things that I want to do for, like, I know Calduin had something he wanted to do, and obviously, Alistair, you have another week of crafting and creating, and if there's any conversations that want to be taken place during this week, then we will discuss it. I'm going to say this takes place the next day. That night, you guys all just went off and did relaxing things, whatever. But this morning, Calduin, you had an idea. You want to tell us about that idea?
Yeah, sorry, I was putting in a timestamp real quick. Yeah, so with being around all these inspiration of like at the forge and just seeing everybody tinker with stuff, I began to sit down and it's like examining the glass, the sand in the glass orb in the hilt of my sword, and thinking it's like maybe there's something more I could do here. So I start or messing around with my shape sand and examining the cartridges of bullets that not really cartridges, but the bullets that I use for my revolver, and thinking that maybe there's a way to apply this with my shape sand as I can do with the sword. So I take some time trying to form it together, trying to match it identical to each of my bullets. I hope all that went through.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep. Oh yeah, that was perfect. You quick cover. Are you going with the glass idea?
I would, but I'm kind of thinking more of surprise because like I was just thinking it was like condensing it into a sand bullet, but then it's like gets superheated in the chamber. I know it's not really realistic, but who cares? It's
Yeah.
D&D.
Okay. So yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to. So you create this rough shape of a bullet. You begin to measure it, compare it, and then you go feel it around your holster, and you're like, "What? Where's my gun?" You feel your holster. You look on the table next to you. Pockets of your trench coat. You're like, I haven't used my. Where's my?
I I sigh and start walking around, going from person to person. It's like, all right, have you seen my weapon, my gun?
Nope.
I swear
What's
it
wrong with
was
your
in,
gun?
I don't know. I swear it was in my holster. We haven't used it in who knows how long. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old.
Well, maybe you hurt its feelings. Didn't use it enough.
Anyone see the Alistair around?
I'm sure he's tinkering away on something.
I'll go find him. As I go look for Alistair.
You go into the spare bedroom where the hole is laid out.
Alistair,
Where is Alistair found?
Alistair probably is inside of his room, but he's laying out a checklist of all sorts of exotic materials that he either or that he's struck through with various colors in order to identify the volume of each that he's going to need, and is basically just poring over assorted notes with the intent for the various enchantments that he's looking at inside the next few days.
I shout from the top of the hole. Alistair, you down there?
Yeah?
You
Oh,
see
no.
You see my gun?
I mean, yeah. I have.
I'm coming down.
Yeah, sure.
As I make my way down.
Shit.
Where is?
First
Why
of
do you
all,
have it?
I want you to know I don't want you to pistol whip me with this because the inlay for the runes on the hilt are very difficult to get properly laid out, and I don't want you to damage them. Here you go.
What did you do? As I take the gun and look it over.
I mean, after I started doing some enchantments on Nadia, I thought to myself, there's a lot of crossover between a high performance crossbow and a revolver, so I decided to take the liberty of providing a few alterations and enhancements to the device.
Enhancements. Yeah, and how much is that going to cost me?
Nothing you can't afford.
How much?
I might have invested enough to make it worth about 200,000 gold on the open market.
Alright. As I start digging out my pouch.
But remember, I agreed that I would do everything at cost. So I mean, let's just leave it at, like, I don't know, 10k platinum out of the entirety of the inheritance. That's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket.
Sure. As I hand him the 10k.
This went far smoother than I expected out of my irrational exuberance.
Well, knowing you, you're just probably trying to help. So, what all that you got?
It might be better for you to go out and give it a field test.
Well, luckily enough, I got something I need to test myself, so.
Have fun.
I'm sure I will. I head up and outside.
And today I kept my hands.
In what target would you like to use on your new pistol?
Probably just like a standard dummy for now. I don't really know like technically I don't know what enchantments are on it, so I
We
wouldn't
want to
know.
go hunt some Scanscrat?
Let's go hunting.
I don't think we are getting any audio.
Okay.
Nope.
I said let's go hunting in a terrible
Shoot,
accent.
Tobin.
What? No, shoot or golden.
He might catch it.
I might block it. Yeah,
are you
if you're
guys-
talking, we're getting nothing.
Oh, okay. I said let's
Oh,
go
there we go.
hunting.
We briefly had something.
Oh, what is going
Oh,
on?
there we go.
I said let's go hunting.
Okay.
Let's go hunting. Can you roll
Oh, my
me?
lord.
I don't know. Would move silently or survival be your better roll?
Let's see. Move silent. Well, move silently would definitely be better. That's a 13.
Roll me a move silently.
That is a 32. It didn't come through, did it?
You
Okay.
head off into the desert near clusters of rocks where Sanskrit are known to gather. Like a ghost in the shadows, you slink and find a pack of 4 Sanskrit. These kind of very thin and long desert creatures. They got very tiny, cute, like long black paws and a very sharp nose. Their pelt is very like sand colored to help them blend in. What are you fucking giggling about this time? You guys are like. You're gonna shoot me. You guys are fucking stupid.
The memes this episode have been on point.
Oh my god. You find a pack of 4 Sanskrit, these lanky rat like prairie dogs.
Okay. I stay hidden for now as I open up a satchel so that the jar of shape sand is open to the air, essentially. As the sand starts to fly out and move into the gun, forming the bullets inside the chamber.
Now give us your best quick draw.
I don't even think that's gonna pick it up. It definitely did not pick it up.
No, you picked up. I
Oh,
heard
did I?
you.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard the sand going into the thing.
Yeah, but I made like a whooshing noise, but I don't think that got picked up.
That didn't pick up.
Yeah.
Now with the splitting enchantment, do you roll 3 separate attacks?
Well, I'm technically just shooting it, but I'll roll 2 attacks, 1 for each bullet.
2 attacks, 1 for each bullet, because it only splits into 2, right?
Yes.
Not 3?
Yeah, it's only one more.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll your attacks. It's probably like a DC 8.
Okay.
And you can make it at advantage because you have you have surprise round on them.
Okay.
They're definitely flat-footed.
Oh, the first one is a 25. Second one is 20.
Boom. Go ahead and roll damage and go ahead and describe your gun and the inherent effects.
Okay. So I need another D8. There it is. Actually, I need another D6 too. Would desiccation apply to both shots? Correct.
Yes.
Sweet. Yeah. So as the bullet fires, it hardens in the chamber and comes out. I don't know why I'm thinking of it this way, but this is how I imagine it, as like a green crystalline bullet is what I'm seeing. It comes out, and then as it exits the chamber, it snaps in half and forms into two more, going in a V shape and arcing towards the sand scrat, like it's seeking it out, blood seeking. As it hits onto the sand scrat, the bullets shatter and basically turns back to sand and drains the water from the wound. As I. Okay, so that is. Would you say bullets are piercing? Yeah.
Yes, I believe they're
Okay.
piercing.
So 4 piercing, 6. No, sorry, 5 piercing because it's a +1 weapon. 5 piercing, 6 desiccation, so 10 for the first bullet, and then 8 piercing, 5. Did I say 5 or 6 for the first one? Anyways, it's
I think
supposed
you
to be.
said
I
5.
think you said 5.
Okay, I meant to say 6. So 5
Okay.
piercing, 6 desiccation, so 11, and then 8 piercing, 5 desiccation, so 13 for the second one. So
Ooh. With one, these two bullets arc as the two Sanskrit flop down. You see the other two Sanskrit instantly reacting like rabbits, freezing, and then darting away into the desert. And then
Uh,
you see them kind of take.
so
Sorry,
the
go on.
the blood seeking would only go for one target. The 2 bullets would still only go for one target, I believe. Is that how that works, Chris? Or would it go for 2 targets?
They all go after one target.
Okay.
Any magical properties from the weapon are duplicated, and even mundane properties like if you coated a bullet inside of poison would be
Okay.
duplicated.
So yeah, it only hits
Oh, but
the one.
it just goes into one target.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Really?
So yeah, 20, 24
It basically just
damage.
doubles the output.
Anyways. Yeah. So my apologies, misspoke. One Sandscrap flops, the other 3 immediately react, freezing and diving away. You see that with them kind of take a weird, like half dive into the sand and begin to like dig their way into the sand below. As you kind of see them go as they scatter away.
As I walk over to the one I shot, the sand from the bullets start flowing back towards me and into the gun.
Sick.
Alistair, you have outdone yourself. I grab the sand strad and take it over my shoulder as I walk back to the forge.
Awesome. V, what does Beckett get up to? As I feel like we probably where do you want to be found in the general area?
Is
In
this
the
after the meeting?
study.
Is this
Say
after
that
our
again?
big?
Speak up.
Is this after our big meeting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like the
Uh,
next day.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Is there like a study or something? Beckett likes reading, so she'd
Yeah, you
probably
can
go.
go into Tobin's dad's office.
Yeah, Beckett would probably be there.
Yeah, you go in and sit in one of his nice leather chairs with the tall back. You see sitting at the desk is Alvor as he's currently drawing on draft paper as you hear him kind of muttering to himself under his breath in Dwarvish. He's like, oh.
Can I tell what he's working on without like making it look like I'm looking?
Well, presumably say some form of map of Kalimdin.
Right.
I think right now he might be working on the sketch of um the vault, where all the exits are different weak points in the walls. He has starred and written in comedies possible tunnel entrance question mark.
Mivney's also curled up in a corner reading a book.
He's
Um,
reading like astrophysics.
Why does Tobin's dad have an astrophysics book?
God. Becca will probably go sit near a window that she can open, just in case Azrael wants to come and hang out with her.
I think Azrael's probably just chilling with you.
Oh, okay.
I think now that he's within like
He's
in his
too
true
bubonic,
form,
like-
he's
Yeah. Bubonic never spent time with her, so she's just like, what the fuck?
yeah. Now that he's in his true form, he's a lot closer to you now. He's like perches on your shoulder.
Okay. I'm still gonna find like a big enough space that like I'm not in anybody's way who's in there, but also like enough room for Azrael to like perch somewhere.
Yeah, you sit on a nice tall backed leather chair. Near a window, you open it up, letting the warm desert breeze drift into the window. You can see Azrael flap his wings to steady himself onto the windowsill as he kind of pokes around, poking his head out, and then moving his way back in, and just sits there, watches you. You see sometimes he will like look over towards Mivney, and Mivney will look up, and they will like be staring at each other for a short while, like they're having a conversation telepathically. Then he'll look back, and Mivney will look back down at her book.
Um, can I look? I don't think Tobin's dad will have one, but can I look for a book that may have information on Arcanos?
No,
No? Okay.
that he's got a couple of encyclopedias. You see a a book that teaches about ancient dwarvish runes. You see it's a lot of English like literature too, some fiction. But these are like old man fiction books, not like fun ones, but they're the ones that are like kind of a slog fest with a really tiny font.
Right. Okay. That
Was
gets
that what
really just gonna
is
pull
that
out
what
her-
Mark's book collection is like?
Yeah.
Beckett's gonna pull out her medical journal and just reread that like she usually does.
You Oh fuck! Thank you, dude. You
Oh my God, I don't know what to do.
flip through the pages where one of this is you begin your walkthrough at your original notes of Black Dragon Pox. This is when your handwriting was a lot messier. You were a lot more erratic, younger. You move forward. You You see like the equations of a health potion, like different volumes and stuff, and like you see a note of like, you know, trying to increase potency of health potions. And you flip to a page where you find writing that's not your own. It's like scratchy, almost someone clawed it into the page, but it's written in fine gold ink.
Oh,
As you read it, a voice that's not your own begins to speak as you read out the note. It also speaks. Why do you practice?
wait, so I'm hearing a voice while I'm reading
You're
this?
hearing this voice while you're reading it on the page.
Oh, do I recognize the voice?
You do not.
Oh, Beckett like shudders a little bit the first time she hears it, and um,
As you shudder, you see Azrael steps forward and kind of nestles his beak against your leg.
is he on the ground?
He's kind of like bouncing between the arm of your chair and the windowsill.
Oh, okay.
But he nestles like against like your thigh, and you know, as if almost to say like, you know, everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like he
I'll
has
pet
some
him.
understanding that something's happening.
Yeah, I'll pet him, and then I'm gonna flip the page, see if the voices keep talking.
You flip it, and again it asks you, "Why do you practice?"
Is there any gold writing on this next page that I don't recognize?
It's just it asks you again as you flip it. There's a gold writing again, and it asks why do you practice? It's almost like it's trying to talk directly to you.
Okay. Um, am I far enough away from everybody in the room that I could like have a quiet conversation with myself without seeming insane?
Yeah, I think that would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, Alvor is
Um,
also mumbling to himself, so
Alvor is also talking to himself in this moment.
yeah, but Beckett can talk in another language.
That's true.
Um,
You just start speaking in tongues. I feel like that'd be worse. Is like
no, literally.
he looks up, going, "What the fuck is happening?"
That would be actually really funny. She just starts speaking in oh fuck, what's the other language she knows? I can't remember at the moment.
infernal.
That's it.
Infernal.
That would be fun. Um,
All right, this is just becoming a Harry Potter ripoff. You basically
no,
gave us a
literally.
basilisk fang as the golden dagger. You've got a book that's writing in itself. Now she's speaking parcel tongue.
Yeah.
Oh,
Snakes
We've
start
moved
coming out
on
of
from
nowhere.
Skyrim to Harry Potter here.
J.K. Rowling does it again.
God damn it. Um,
Chamber of Online Hate.
um, Beckett.
Why do you practice?
It's a complicated question. um, she says, I practice to help people. I practice to do as much good as I can.
You flip to the next page. Do you help because you cannot help yourself?
Wow, that's deep. Okay. Yes. I felt helpless for a very long time, and I don't want anyone else to feel like that.
Do you fear death?
No.
For yourself and for others?
I fear for my friends, not for myself.
Do you want to glimpse on destiny?
Can you repeat that one more time?
Do you want to glimpse upon destiny?
Um, Beckett's gonna sit there and like ponder that question for a second. Um, and then she's gonna sit back up and look at Azrael and say yes.
You turn the next page, and it's blank. The writing begins to write very slowly. Darkness waits. You thought the darkness was an ally, bending it to your will. Then you get a glimpse in your mind of a dark wave. It passes slowly like a ghost through the night, through trees, homes, mountains, and rivers. You watch it drift. Then you begin to feel a pounding. At first you think it's your own heartbeat, but then you feel it rhythmically thumping in the ground. You feel yourself turn to see a army of Sanglesites marching in unison, riding that black tide. There's nothing behind them except for the endless expanse of nothing. No stars, no light. It swallows everything. You look down at your feet and see a golden scroll. Excuse me. The golden scroll rolls, like unravels itself upon the floor. You see a solitary line beginning to cut through it, shining golden, bright light. On the other side, you can hear birds chirp, the flow of rushing water, the rustle of wildlife. And then music. Sweet, solemn music drifts through your mind. It's a melancholy melody of. It's not. It's sad, but it's also beautiful. You think of the black dahlias at your mother's funeral. You think of the moss that grows between the cracks of the ruined city of Palos. That yet in death, life prevails. And light does find a way to travel out of that darkness. You just have to look a little bit deeper. You look back down at the book, at that blank page. You don't hear the voice this time. In golden writing, it says, "We make our own destinies."
If I flip the page again, do I hear anything or see anything?
You flip the page and you stumble upon the notes of Buckley's. No more golden text, no more voice.
I'm gonna close the book and just kind of like sit there and just absorb everything that just happened. With a smile on her face. She's actually like quite happy this time with these voices, unlike previous. But yeah, I think she needs a minute to just like, whoa.
Fair enough. Can we take two for a minute? I think with that, we're going to leave off the episode there. Sorry, it might be a little bit of a shorter one. I feel very scatterbrained. And I want to go sit on my couch. So I will see you all next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. You know the deal. I feel like I had something to... Oh, yeah. So, still no plan on when we're going to do that D20 Modern thing yet. You know, obviously I want to get through this Kalimdun adventure and then probably the cocktail party. And then after that, we'll do the D20 adventure. So honestly, whenever everything wraps up here, we'll do that. I'm thinking probably another 6 episodes of TBS, and then we'll do D20 Modern. Players, if you don't have your character sheets made, do so. Contact me if you want any. Yeah, I'm looking at you, James, while I do that, while I say that.
Yeah, and I'm sticking my tongue out at you. You know what?
Good.
I bite my thumb at you, sir.
Oh, yeah, you know what? You know what? Anyways, we'll talk to you next time. Big peace.
Bye. Have a wonderful time.
Peace.